much.
Thank you, Vietnam. South Africa, Mr. Shivambu.
Thank you very much.
Followed by Peru, Mr. Bostamau.
Thank you very much, Speaker. I think despite the temptation to want to take a homogeneous approach to the Russia-Ukraine situation, I think we, as a multilateral body, the IPU, but also encouraging the United Nations to do the same thing, we should be able to sensibly listen as to some of the reasons and some of the contextual issues that are raised around the role of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO. Because speaking from the African continent, we have got a very horrible experience where they came to enforce a no-fly zone in Libya and ended up with a destroyed country and an assassinated head of state, Colonel Muammar Gaddafi. And we should be rightfully concerned by NATO's expansionist policies eastward and the reaction that is now defining the Russian Federation. And so this issue of trying to bulldoze everyone towards a singular and homogeneous perspective does not help. Despite these observations, I think that the IPU and the United Nations as well should position themselves to mediate for peace and have negotiations with all the parties that are involved. Instead of condemnation and just finding ourselves, I'm winding up, not just supplying arms to one of the warring partners. There has to be a relentless to try to achieve peace in Ukraine and Russia instead of supplying arms to one of the warring partners. Thank you very much.
Thank you, South Africa. I now invite Peru, Mr. Bustamau, followed by Zambia, Mr. Gazimete.
Thank you, Mr. President, Madam President. I believe the current problem, the war between Ukraine and Russia, should actually be focused from a different angle. I believe that the annexation of territories by force is wrong. This is not the time of human history to do that and to accept that. However, we have in play something worse, which is the possibility should try to atone our statements in terms of not incentivizing countries to either be cornered so that they can have in their mind no other possibility but to use nuclear weapons, say the nuclear weapons that do not apparently cause much damage, because that would escalate immediately. So my point is that we should draft a resolution which is equilibrated, which has equity, that recognizes that each of those countries in right now fighting each other should not be encouraged to be cornered, because even a mouse, when cornered, can become a lion.
Consider winding up Peru.
And definitely, I believe that we should put in our statement something to the tone of neighboring countries of both countries should not encourage them to take extreme measures such as or other the problem with the
Ukraine.
Thank you, Madam President. Privilege of visiting Ukraine in August of this year and seeing the killing fields of Bucha, the destroyed homes of Borodyanka, the death. I've witnessed the consequences of the aggression of on now for 8 years. This, Madam President, is a pivotal challenge for this Assembly to stand with the attacked. We parliamentarians joined together in this World Assembly must do the same. Thank you.
Followed by Portugal, Mr. Santos.
Thank you, dear colleagues, moreover, thank you to this Assembly that pulled together yesterday and stood in unity for the values of the IPU. In the face of the spiraling escalation of Russia's aggression, which started against Ukraine 8 years than to keep recalling the basic principles of the statute of our organization and of the Charter of the UN, whereby nations have individual responsibility to abstain from aggression and do all possible to maintain international peace and security. The main goal we all pursue collectively is to call on Russia to cease aggressive activities. These aggressive activities, they eventually led to food, energy and nuclear being used as a weapon of war. While military activities are contained and limited to Ukraine, is about others as Russia lays landmines will lead to the aggravation of the migration crisis, which is already onsetting in the world. Is actually the first time we've had for decades and decades. Turning a blind humanity is something world the only thing to do. We supported this group will produce a text that is dignified of this Assembly and that we can vote on